students, welcome to Veda Gate Academy. So far we have discussed about the different losses that are presented in a given transformer, and we have discussed even some of the interview questions that were asked in the previous PSU companies. Okay, now in today's session we are going to discuss about what are the different tests that are going to be performed and how to conduct those tests. Now before going to start the tests, first of all, what is the necessity of conducting tests? Basically, once if the construction or design of the transformer is over, in order to understand whether the given design transformer is meeting all the requirements or not will be understand by performing the testing. Okay, so we need to design, test and release into the market. Okay, now the other purpose of doing the testing analysis or testing is in order to determine the equivalent circuit parameters. That means the parameters of equivalent circuit can be able to determine with the help of the tests, as well as we can even determine the amount of losses that are occurred in that particular transformer for a given load. Okay, so we are doing indirect loading. That means we are not going to do the loading. That means we are not going to apply the load on the transformer. Without applying the load, we can able to estimate the losses with the help of these tests. Now if you consider the different tests that are going to be conducted on a given transformer, or one is polarity test, the second one is we are going to conduct the open circuit test, and the other one is short circuit test, the third one is short circuit test, and apart from this even we are going to conduct a Sumner's test also. Okay, so first we will try to concentrate on these three and later we will move on to the Sumner's test. So first we will start with the polarity test. First we are going to start with the polarity test. So what is the necessity of conducting this polarity test? The necessity of conducting this polarity test is whenever if you are going to connect two or more transformers in parallel, or during the polyphase circuits, that means three-phase transformers and all those things, we must have to conduct polarity test before connecting two or more transformers in parallel or during these polyphase circuits. Okay, so whenever if I want to connect two transformers in parallel or during polyphase circuits, I must have to understand the polarities of the terminals. So by the way, what is the meaning of polarity test? What we can able to understand? Okay, I will give you a simple terms now. Okay, and after that I will explain. So with the help of polarity test, I can able to identify the relative polarities of secondary winding terminals with respect to assumed primary polarities. That means I have primary winding and secondary winding. So the primary winding consists of the polarities, terminals, two terminals. Okay, so it is a two-port network, right? So two input terminals are there, two output terminals are there. Okay, so if I know the primary winding polarities, I can able to conduct a polarity test to determine the secondary winding polarities. So that is the purpose of or advantage of conducting polarity test. So what we can able to understand by conducting polarity test, I can able to understand the relative polarities of secondary winding terminals with respect to the assumed primary polarities will be obtained by conducting polarity test. And what is the necessity of conducting this polarity test? If at all if you want to connect two or more transformers in parallel or during polyphase circuits, you must have to understand the polarities of the terminals. Okay, why? Because for suppose I will explain, because still we have not started with the parallel operation of transformer. I will take a simple electrical circuit and explain what is the necessity of these polarities, right? So let us consider I have a electrical circuit. So what is the necessity of these things? Using during parallel operation of transformers, as well as during polyphase circuits connections, we are using this polarity test. Okay, now if you are considering some electrical circuit, let us assume that I have a voltage source. Okay, I have a voltage source plus minus, and let us assume the source voltage is 100 volts. And since it is a, let us assume a practical voltage source, not ideal. So it consists of some small internal impedance, yes or no? It consists of some small internal impedance. Let me indicate that internal impedance over here itself. Right. So let us assume the internal impedance of this particular source is 0.01 ohms. This is my one source. Now what I am doing is I am going to consider one more voltage source. I don't know the polarities of the source, but I know the magnitude because I am selecting the similar voltage source as this. Okay, so I know the magnitude of this source is 100 volts, and even the internal impedance of this particular source is also 0.01 ohms. Okay, now I would like to connect these two sources in parallel. If I want to connect these two sources in parallel, that means for suppose, okay, so let us assume I have a switch over here. These two terminals will be connected here. Right, so before going to close the switch, you need to make sure that these two sources should be properly connected. What is the meaning of that? For suppose, okay, I know the polarities of the first source, but I don't know the polarities of the second voltage source, right? There are two possibilities for this voltage source. It may be initially, okay, in case 1, I can say this may be positive with respect to this, or in case 2, I can say this may be negative with respect to this. Now, for suppose if I am considering the first case, where this terminal is positive with respect to this one. So in the first case, can you tell me what is the, if you try to calculate the resultant potential difference, okay, if you apply KVL around this one, so this is plus 100, okay, and this is plus 100. So you are going to get, if you apply KVL from here, so minus 100 plus 100. So what will happen to the resultant current? For suppose if I assume this is the circulating current between these two sources. So can you tell me what is the circulating current you are going to get if I try to write the expression for circulating current? Okay, so what is the expression for circulating? You can apply simply KVL, guys. If you apply KVL, if I am starting from here minus 100, okay, and here you are having plus 100, okay, divided by the overall impedance 0.01 plus 0.01. Yes or no? So what is the circulating current you are going to get? 0 amperes. When I am going to get 0 amperes, this is plus and minus, right? For suppose if I am doing the second case, where let us assume that I have closed the switch, where in the second case I am having minus plus terminals. So in that case, can you tell me what is the circulating current you are going to get? If you calculate the circulating current, if you can calculate the circulating current in the second case, apply again KVL from here. So you are going to get minus 100, okay, and again minus 100 divided by 0.01 plus 0.01. So that means here minus means you need to assume the direction of circulating current in this fashion. That's it. If current, after getting current value as some negative value, we need to assume the opposite direction as assumed direction, right? So you are going to get how much? 200 divided by 0.02, right? So you are going to get let me neglect the magnitude, okay? If you try to calculate the magnitude 0.01, 200 divided by 0.02. So that means how much you are going to get? You are going to get 10 or 1000, right? So 1000 amperes of the current is flowing, or 1000 or 10,000, right? So let me calculate this. So right, so you are going to get 10,000 amperes. So how much circulating current is flowing between these two sources? 10,000 amperes. When, if I am assuming this polarity is negative with respect to this. So out of these two, when I need to close the switch, I need to close the switch if in the first case or second case? In the first case. In the first case. Are you following what I am saying? So when I can say these two sources are properly parallel connected, if these two sources are properly parallel connected, when I can say if this is positive terminal, this is also should be positive terminal. If I want to do proper parallel connection of two sources, they must be connected in such a way that the similar terminals, okay, this is a terminal having a polarity positive, this is a terminal which is having a polarity positive. The similar polarity terminals must be connected, okay. So the polarities, both the polarities are same, right? So the same polarity terminals must be joined. Here minus and minus, so I am going to join these two things, and these are plus and plus, I am going to join these two things. Okay, then only we can say they are properly connected. Otherwise, by mistakenly, if I am connecting a switch, okay, where I have not checked the proper parallel connection, and by mistakenly if I close this switch during the second case, then what will happen? High amount of circulating currents will flow between the two sources, and those two sources gets damaged. Okay, so in order to overcome that, I need to connect in as case 1 manner. In case 1, okay, the terminals which are having same polarities, the terminals which are having same polarities must be joined with each other. Okay, joined with each other, then only we can able to avoid circulating currents. So that means here, if I know the polarities of the second source with respect to these primary polarities or first source, then only I can able to understand whether I need to close this switch, or I can understand whether these two are properly parallel connected or not. Are you following what I am conveying, guys? Right? So that is the necessity of going for polarity test. So what is the necessity of going for polarity test? For proper parallel connections, I must have to understand the polarities of the second transformer with respect to the primary first transformer. Okay, or else during polyphase circuits also I require polarity test. So what we can able to get from polarity test? The relative polarities of secondary winding terminals with respect to assumed primary polarities can be obtained by using polarity test. Now, in networks also we have studied about polarity test. Okay, so but here in networks we are not going to conduct any test, but we came to understand how to conduct a polarity test. The only difference between the network polarity test and in our machines is, in networks we are going to assume that the sense of the winding is known to us. So that means if I try to see, okay, the explanation, for suppose assume that this is my transformer. Okay, so where I am saying that the sense of the winding is known to us clearly. So here this is the way I have wounded the winding on the primary limb, and this is the way I have wounded the winding on the secondary limb. Now what I will do, if I know the sense of the winding, I can easily identify the polarities of the secondary winding. There is no need of conducting a polarity test if I know the sense of the winding. If I know the sense of the winding, there is no need of conducting test at all, polarity test. Why? Because I can easily identify the polarities of the secondary winding terminals with respect to assumed primary polarities. Why? Because let us quickly see. Already we have done this discussion. If you apply a source voltage and assume, okay, so we are assuming the primary side terminals polarities as plus minus. So as it is a source, okay, the current will be started from here. The magnetizing current starts flowing in this one, right? So for a source, the current will leave from the positive terminal. Are you following what I am saying? Here I am assuming the primary side polarities as this terminal is positive with respect to this terminal. So because of that, magnetizing current starts flowing, and because of this magnetizing current, I can say that obviously the flux will be started flowing. This is my main field flux, and because of this main field flux, EMFs gets induced across the primary as well as EMF gets induced across the secondary winding, right? So since it is an ideal source, as this is positive terminal, I can say this is plus minus. Now how to determine the polarities of this EMF? So now the moment if I am connecting a load, we know that the moment if I connect a load, we are assuming if I am connecting a load, then what will happen? The current starts flowing through the load. The direction of the current I2 in the secondary winding is in such a way that it will produce one more flux which should be oppose the main field flux. To show the opposition, the flux should be in this direction. If I know the flux direction, I can easily obtain by using right hand thumb rule. So the direction of the current in the winding on the limb will be in this fashion. Yes or no? So what is the direction of the current? I can get the direction of the current in this fashion. If I know the direction of the current, I can easily say, okay, which is positive and which is negative terminals, right? So because this is a source and this is a load. Whereas on the primary side, this is act as a source and this act as a load. On the secondary side, this is a source and this is a load. So for a source, always current will leave from the positive terminal. For a load, always the current will enter from the positive terminal. So you will get a source load voltage as V2. So here, I got the relative polarities of secondary winding terminals for the assumed primary polarities if I know the sense of the winding. Am I conducted any test here? No. Right? So for suppose if I am taking one more case, let me take one more case. For suppose I have a transformer. Let us assume this is my transformer. on which I have wounded the winding as shown here. On which I have wounded the winding as shown here. Already we have made all these discussion, guys. Okay. So here, can I say the sense of the winding in this case and in this case is same or different? Different. Primary side sense of the winding will be same, but whereas in the secondary winding sense of the winding will be different. That means how I have wounded winding on the limb in the first case of secondary winding and the second case of secondary winding is different, right? Now let us try to apply a voltage. Assume that this particular terminal is positive with respect to this one. This is the assumption, and we are finally arriving or getting the answer here. Okay, we are getting the answer here, right? So here, if I am assuming the moment if this is a source, the magnetizing current will start flowing in this direction. So because of this one, you are going to get, if you apply right hand thumb rule, the direction of main field flux will be in this direction. Because of this main field flux, you are going to get EMFs induced across the primary winding as well as secondary winding, right? And as it is ideal source, I can say this is plus minus if you apply KVL. Now what I will do, I am going to connect a load across the secondary winding. The moment if I am connecting a load, what will happen? The moment if I am connecting a load, okay, so load will draw some current. The direction of that current I2 in the secondary winding is in such a way that it will produce one more flux, and according to Lenz's law, this produced flux will try to oppose main field flux. So the direction of the secondary flux should be in the upward direction. Now if you apply right hand thumb rule to satisfy flux direction in the upward, so the direction of current in the winding on the limb will be in this fashion. So now if you observe here, the current is moving in this direction, the current is flowing in this direction. So the direction of the secondary current is in this fashion. Now since it is a source and it is a load, so obviously for a source the current will leave here. So this plus minus, and here you will get plus minus V2. So that means for the assumed primary polarities, if I know the sense of the winding, I got the secondary winding polarities. This is occurred only if I know the sense of the winding. If I know the sense of the winding. But practically, once if the transformer design is over, can I able to identify the sense of the winding? No, I cannot able to identify the sense of the winding because my winding is preformed, taped as well as insulated, and it will be concealed with the transformer tank. I cannot able to identify the sense of the winding. Yes or no? Right? So in that case, how to determine the polarities of secondary winding terminals? Because if I am purchasing two similar transformers and I want to connect these two transformers in parallel, can I blindly connect these two transformers in parallel? No. Why? If I blindly connect these two transformers and if I get a situation of case 2, then the two transformers gets damaged. Yes or no? Right? There should be a proper parallel connection. For that, I need to understand what are the polarities of the terminals which are going to be connected in parallel. For that, what I have to do is, after purchasing these transformers, I have to separately conduct a polarity test on this transformer as well as this transformer, and after that I came to understand the polarities. Okay, so from that I can able to properly do the parallel connection. Are you following what I am saying? Right. So now the point is, as we don't know the sense of the winding, now the next step is we need to conduct the polarity test. Now we will try to see how to conduct the polarity test. Okay, I will try to see how to conduct the polarity test. Yeah. So now again I am going to consider this is my right. So let us consider this is my transformer core, on which I don't know the sense of the winding. Okay, what I am doing is, instead of wounding the winding, I am assuming that this is my sense of the winding. Okay, so is it clearly visible? No, right? So I don't know how it is wounded. Similarly here also I am wounding the winding in this fashion. So that means I don't know the sense of the winding here. Okay, so now this is let us assume these are the terminals A, and this is terminal B, and let us assume this is terminal C, and this is terminal D. Now what I am doing is, I am not connecting any load during this test. Okay, the secondary terminals are open circuited, and what I will do is, I am going to supply a source voltage V1 at a frequency F. Are you following? Now in this polarity test, what I will do is, I will short circuit any two terminals. Okay, let us assume I am short circuiting A and C terminals, and across the other terminals I am going to connect a voltmeter. Across the other terminals I am going to connect a voltmeter. Now based on this voltmeter reading, I can able to say whether the secondary winding terminals are having, okay, what are the polarities with respect to assumed polarities. Here primary side I am assuming the polarities, and based on that primary side assumed polarities I am understanding the secondary side winding terminal polarities. Okay, only we are identifying this thing. Are you following what I am saying? Right. Let us try to assume that this primary side terminals are A is positive with respect to B. The moment if I am drawing, obviously it will draw a magnetizing current, flux will set up, and EMF gets induced across this primary winding, as well as EMF gets induced across this secondary winding. EMF gets induced across the secondary winding. Now, as it is ideal transformer, so obviously if you apply KVL, this terminal is positive with respect to this one. Now, I need to understand what is the polarities of E2. If I know the sense of the winding as discussed in the previous session, I can understand what are the polarities of E2 and V2 by assuming the load and the load current direction. I can get the polarities. But in this case, I don't know the sense of the winding, guys. How I have wound it. Now, only way is based on this voltmeter reading, I need to understand whether this terminal, C terminal is positive with respect to D or negative with respect to D. For that, what we have to do is, what are the two possibilities I may get for this E2? I may get the first possibility as I may get the first possibility as C may be positive with respect to D. In the second possibility, I will have C negative with respect to D. That means C is negative, D is positive, right? So we will take both the cases and we will try to understand what is the voltmeter reading. For suppose if I am choosing the first possibility as C is positive with respect to D, only two possibilities you will get, right? There is no chance of this is positive, this is positive, this is negative, this is negative. Only you will have two possibilities. If one terminal is positive, other terminal is negative. Right. Now here, if you observe here, I have short circuited AC and across BD I have connected voltmeter. That means I can see indirectly how I have joined these two windings. If you clearly focus, I have joined these two windings in series connection. Series connection. See here, clearly see here. So if you observe here, if you see these windings, okay, if I try to draw, let us start from A, B, okay, across A and B, I have a, okay, across A and B. Let me see here. Okay, just like, yeah, I will move upward direction. Yes, see here, all of you please focus, guys, here. So now if you are taking, let us assume this is terminal B, okay, and B is connected to negative terminal, negative potential, and after that in between B and A you will have EMF E1, and E1 positive terminal is connected to whom? Terminal A. All of you please focus, guys, here. So B terminal is connected to negative potential, A terminal is connected to positive. Across A and B you will have E1. Now if you observe A and C, how they are connected, short circuited. Now C is having a positive potential and D is having a negative potential. This is positive, this is negative. Across CD you will have EMF E2. Now across B and D, what I have done, I have connected a voltmeter. Now can you tell me in this particular assumption, what is the voltmeter reading? Will I get the voltmeter reading as sum of these two EMFs or difference of these two EMFs? If you observe here, if you apply KVL, okay, if you start from here minus E1 plus E2, or else if you move in this side minus E2 plus E1. So that means, is it my voltmeter is measuring difference of these two EMFs or sum of these two EMFs? Difference. So I can say that in this case, my voltmeter measures difference of these two EMFs, E1 minus E2 or E2 minus E1. That is the reason minus I am representing in this fashion. Okay. So the conclusion from this discussion is, if voltmeter reads difference of these two induced EMFs, okay, the short circuit terminals are assigned with similar polarities or dissimilar polarities. The short circuited terminals are assigned with similar polarities. Okay. So that means simple thing. For suppose a particular transformer is there. I have given a transformer to you. That means you have purchased a transformer, a 10 kVA, 1000 volts by 100 volts transformer. 1000 volts by 100 volts transformer. Okay, so that means what is the meaning? Let us assume this is connected to the source and this is connected to the load. So that means it is primary induced EMF E1 and the secondary induced EMF is E2. Now for this transformer, on the primary terminals I will connect a source of 1000 and the secondary terminals will be open circuit, and A and C terminals are connected in short circuit, and across the other terminals I have connected a voltmeter. That means these two windings are connected in series fashion. All of you focus guys here. Okay, right, come back here. So if I am taking this transformer and if I do the similar connections, and after that if I get a voltmeter reading as, okay, if I get a voltmeter reading in this case as 900 volts, then can I say these two windings are connected in this fashion only, right? Because here I am assuming these terminals and I got the voltmeter expression as E1 minus E2. Now I will give a final conclusion that if voltmeter reads difference of two induced EMFs, then the short circuited terminals must be assigned with similar polarities. The short circuit terminals will be assigned with similar polarities. Okay, then only voltmeter will read difference of EMFs, right? So these difference of EMFs will be obtained from nameplate details. Here 1000 volts is there, 100 volts is there. If voltmeter, what are the two possibilities of voltmeter readings? It may give or indicate 900 volts, or it may give or indicate 1100 volts. Okay, the voltmeter either add these two or subtract these two based on these polarities. Are you following what I am saying, guys? Right? So the voltmeter will indicate 900 volts. 900 volts. So that means difference of two EMFs. And can I say, is it a series additive connection or series subtractive connection? We can call this configuration. As I will write here. Let me use a different color. Yeah, this is called series subtractive connection. Series subtractive connection. It is called as series subtractive connection because the voltages are getting subtracted and the windings are connected in series. Have you understand? So this is one possibility. So what is the conclusion? Please make a note of that point. Keep 1 star and make a note of that point. During polarity test, if voltmeter reads difference of two induced EMFs, then the short circuited terminals will be assigned with similar polarities. And this connection we can call it as series subtractive connection. Now let us do the other last case also. So what is that case? We will assume now C is negative and D is positive. Then what you are going to get? Let me move this slightly left side. Yes. Yeah. So now if you try to see here, okay. So let me try to draw the transformer core. Yes. So this is my transformer core on which we are winding. I don't know the sense of the winding. Okay. For your information, I don't know the sense of the winding. On the secondary side, I am going to wound the sense of the winding. I don't know the sense of the winding, how it is wounded. Okay, and let us assume this is C terminal and this is D terminal, and this terminal is A. This terminal is A and this terminal is what? B. This terminal is B. Right, so for this terminal what I am done is I have connected a source at a voltage V1 and frequency F, and I am assuming this is terminal is positive. Here these terminal indications we have done the assumption. Okay, here we are assuming A is positive with respect to B. So obviously what will happen? EMF is induced across this primary winding. So this terminal is positive with respect to this one, and the EMF gets induced across the secondary winding. And during polarity test, what I have to do? I need to short circuit the terminals A and C, and across this B and D I am going to connect a voltmeter. Now what is the second possibility? Previously already we have done plus minus. Now the other possibility is minus plus. Now let us try to draw this diagram. Please pause the video and do on yourself. So if you try to draw this diagram, first B you can start. Okay, and B is connected to a negative potential and A is connected to a positive potential. Across this you will have EMF E1, and A is short circuited with C terminal and C is connected to negative potential, D is connected to positive potential. Across this you will have EMF E2, and across B and D, who is connected? Voltmeter is connected. Now if you try to write the expression for voltmeter here, can you tell me what is the expression for voltmeter you are going to get? You can apply KVL. So if you apply minus E1 minus E2, or if you apply this side E2 plus E2 plus E1, that means finally you are going to get the sum of these two EMFs or not? Sum of these two EMFs, right? So that means, can I say, is it a series additive connection or series subtractive connection? I can say it is a series additive connection, because the two voltages are going to be added with each other. So this is my series additive connection. The two voltages are getting added with each other. Now the point you need to understand here is, whenever if voltmeter reads, that means for this example, what is the voltmeter reading you are going to get? The voltmeter reading becomes 1100 volts you will get. Okay, so that means if voltmeter reads sum of the two induced EMFs, then the short circuited terminals will be assigned with similar polarities or dissimilar polarities. The short circuited terminals will be assigned with dissimilar polarities. Okay, have you understand this point? So this is about the brief idea about how to conduct a polarity test. Now once if we conduct a polarity test, okay, what we will do is we are going to indicate with dots rather than indicating positive and all those things. On the transformer terminals, we are going to indicate with the dots, right? So the dot convention is generally used during this polarity test. So what is the meaning of dot convention? In a particular transformer, if I am considering one transformer, in the transformer, if I am indicating dot with positive polarity, wherever you are going to find the positive polarity in the transformer, you have to indicate with the dot only. If I am assuming dot is negative on a particular transformer, okay, that means if I am assuming primary side negative dot as negative terminal, on the secondary side negative potential also, you have to indicate with the dot. Are you following what I am saying? Now, if you take this series subtractive polarity connection, so where I am going to get the dots, let me try to draw, indicate. So for suppose if I am assuming this is positive as dot, if I am assuming positive as dot, okay, so in this transformer, wherever you are finding positive terminals, you have to indicate with dot only. Whereas in this case, for suppose if I am assuming this is positive dot, obviously here you will get dot. Now, according to dot convention, okay, if voltmeter reads difference of two EMFs, a pair of similar terminals are assigned with dots, or opposite terminals are assigned with a pair of opposite terminals or similar terminals. These are called similar terminals, these are opposite terminals. I can say a pair of similar terminals are assigned with dots. Whereas if voltmeter reads sum of two EMFs, a pair of opposite terminals or dissimilar terminals are assigned with dots. Okay, here A and C similar, B and D similar. Are you following? A and D dissimilar, B and C dissimilar or opposite terminals. So if voltmeter reads difference of two induced EMFs, then a pair of similar terminals are assigned with dots. Whereas if voltmeter reads sum of two induced EMFs, then a pair of dissimilar or opposite terminals are assigned with dots. Have you understand this point? Do you have any questions from your side? No, right? So this is about the brief idea about polarity test. Okay, so now if you compare these two configurations, can I say this is series subtractive or series out of these two things, this configuration, this is case 1 and this is case 2. Case 1 corresponding to which case here? Okay, which case in this particular slide? Can I say, if you observe here, okay, here this is positive and this is positive. Now let us apply dot convention. As this is positive, I can indicate dot here. So here also I am indicating dot here. So that means, can I say they are connected in series subtractive connection or series additive connection? Series subtractive if I do polarity test. Okay, that means in this case, for this transformer, if I try to conduct a polarity test, will I get my voltmeter reading as difference of these two EMFs or sum of these two EMFs? I am going to get difference. Okay, whenever if voltmeter is difference of two induced EMFs, a pair of similar terminals will be assigned with dots. A pair of similar terminals will be assigned with dots. Okay, so this is exactly same as the voltmeter where it measures difference of EMFs. Whereas if you observe here, okay, if I am keeping a dot here, where I need to keep a dot here for this sense of winding, I am getting sense of winding. So for this sense of winding, I am getting two dots in the similar terminals, whereas for this sense of winding, I am getting two dots in the opposite or dissimilar terminals. Okay, so that means in this case, my voltmeter reads difference of EMFs or sum of two induced EMFs. It will measure sum of two induced EMFs. Okay, so this diagram is similar to voltmeter case where it is measuring difference. This is the diagram where you are getting voltmeter plus E1 and E2. Now if I know these dot conventions, okay, if I know the dot conventions, can I able to indicate the direction of the currents? Okay, here because I know the sense of the winding, I have indicated the direction of the current. Whereas here, how to indicate the direction of the currents if I know the dots are polarities of these EMFs? Okay, so since it is a source, let me use a different color. Okay, so since this is a source, obviously, okay, from the source the current will starts flowing in this direction. So that means the direction of the current is in this fashion. Whereas if I am assuming it is connected to a load, here I am not connected a load, but if I am assuming it is connected to a load, then what will happen? Since it acts as a source, the direction of the current will be in this fashion. Yes or no? So the direction of the secondary current will be in this fashion. Now if you observe, okay, in the second case, okay, so as it is a source, the direction of the current in the primary winding is in this fashion. And if I am assuming this is connected to a load, if I am assuming this is connected to a load, okay, actually we are not going to connect the load during polarity test. Assume if it is connected to a load, then what will happen? As since it is a source, the direction of the current will be in this direction. Yes or no? Right? So the direction of the current will be in this direction in the secondary winding. Now if you observe, whether it is a series additive or series subtractive connection, the common thing what we are identifying from these directions of current in both the diagrams is, if you observe in the first diagram, okay, if you try to observe in the first diagram, here, can I say in the source side, primary side, the current is entering the dot or leaving the dot? Entering the dot. Whereas in the secondary side, can I say the current is leaving the dot or entering the dot? If you see after the winding, okay, so the current is leaving the dot. Whereas here, the current is entering the dot. Are you following what I am saying? Entering the dot and after that flowing through the winding. Right? Here, leaving the dot and after that flowing through the winding. Right? Whereas in this case also, if you observe, here the current is entering the dot, okay, and after that flowing through the winding. Whereas here, what will happen here? The current is leaving the dot and flowing through the winding. So that means whether irrespective of the sense of the winding, always in the primary side, if the current is entering the dot, in the secondary side, current has to leave the dot. Current has to leave the dot. Are you following what I am conveying, guys? If the current is entering the dotted terminal on the primary side, current must has to leave the dotted terminal on the secondary side, irrespective of the sense of the windings. Irrespective of sense of the winding. So we got all these three conclusions. So during polarity test, so first conclusion is, during polarity test, if voltmeter reads difference of two induced EMFs which are mentioned on the nameplate details, then the short circuited terminals will be assigned with similar polarities. Whereas if voltmeter reads sum of two induced EMFs, then short circuited terminals will be assigned with opposite polarities. Now if you apply dot convention, okay, a pair of similar dots will be assigned with dots if voltmeter reads difference of two induced EMFs. Whereas if voltmeter reads difference of two induced EMFs, okay, if you apply dot convention, a pair of dissimilar terminals or opposite terminals will be assigned with dots. Irrespective, next third one is irrespective of sense of winding, always if in the primary side, if current is entering the dotted terminal, on the secondary side current must has to leave the dotted terminal. Whereas if primary side current is leaving the dotted terminal, on the secondary side current must has to enter the dotted terminal. So these are the standard observations what we are going to get from this polarity. So what is the conclusion? What we have done in the polarity test? The relative polarities of secondary winding terminals will be obtained with respect to the assumed primary polarities. So the polarity test is used to determine the relative polarities of secondary winding terminals with respect to the assumed primary winding polarities. With respect to the assumed primary winding polarities. So this is about the brief idea about the polarity test and how to determine the polarities. Okay, right. So far we have discussed about the polarity test. Now we will try to solve some problems related to that concept. Right. So first try to read the question carefully. So if you observe, two windings of transformer are indicated by terminals AB and CD as shown in figure AB, CD. When a voltage of 200 volts is applied across AB, is applied across the terminals AB with BD short circuited. So that means these two terminals are short circuited. A voltage of 400 volts appears across AC. So that means across AC I got 400 volts. Now what are the turns ratio from CD to AB? This is a very simple question. So let us try to understand. So let me move this diagram. Yeah. Now what, again I will try to read the statement. When a voltage of 200 volts is applied across AB. So that means across AB what I am doing is I am going to apply a voltage of 200 volts. With BD terminals short circuited, so I am going to do short circuit of these BD terminals. If I am doing this process, a voltage of 400 volts appears across AC. That means if I connect a voltmeter here, this voltmeter reads how much voltage? 400 volts. Okay. Then what is the turns ratio from C to D AB? So here, how to do the analysis? Here I don't know the rating of this transformer. First of all, I know only the primary voltage and I know the voltmeter reading. So that means first thing is I have 4 things in my mind. It may be series additive or series subtractive connection. Second thing is it may be a step down or step up transformer, right? So let us try to see the analysis, complete analysis. Assume that the EMF induced across this primary winding is E1, and since they have not mentioned it is an ideal transformer, this voltage is same as E1, right? And EMF induced across the secondary winding is E2. Now what I will do is I will assume, in the first case I will assume this terminal is dotted. So obviously this is plus minus. Dotted terminal generally I will default assume as positive. It is not mandatory to assume dotted as positive. Okay. You can assume the dotted terminal with a negative also. You can indicate dot with a negative. Right. So here I have 2 possibilities as you know. Okay. So here the voltmeter reads 400 volts if I apply 200 volts here, right? So what I am doing is I am assuming this terminal is positive with respect to this. Then in that case I may get series additive or series subtractive connection, right? So I may get okay, so this has positive with respect to this one or this has negative with respect to this one. I will do the 2 possibilities. Okay, first case. So the voltmeter reading is 400. It will give induced EMFs in the primary windings. Sum of 2 EMFs or difference of 2 EMFs. It may be give sum of 2 EMFs. In the second case, maybe I am going to get difference of 2 EMFs also. Sum of 2 EMFs also. Right. Now, already I know the value of E1, right? What is the value of E1? The value of E1 is 200 in both the cases. Now from here, can I able to get the value of E2? E2 becomes what you are going to get. 200 minus 400 you are going to get. Magnitude if you try to calculate how much you are going to get, 200. Okay, our interest is to determine the magnitude. Right? So whereas here, what is the value of E2 you are going to get? 200 only. You are going to get 200. Are you following? Right? So from here, E2 is 200, E2 is 200. What I need to determine in this question, guys, I need to determine the turns ratio between whom? C to D, AB. So that means I need to calculate E2 by E1 or N2 by N1. So if I am assuming this is N2 and this is N1, I need to calculate in this question, I need to calculate N2 by N1. Turns ratio is our task. N2 by N1 is nothing but E2 by E1, right? So what is N2 by N1 in this case? Which is equal to E2 by E1. What is E2 here? 200. And E1 is also how much? 200. So you are going to get 1:1 transformer. Whereas in this case also, if I try to calculate N2 is to N1, you are going to get 1:1 again, because 200 is to 200, 1:1. Here I am assuming that this is a step down or step up transformer. If you see case 1, okay, in this is a, it may be a step up or step down, both voltages are added, means we don't have any problem. But in this case, okay, this I am assuming as step down transformer. If I am assuming step down transformer, then only I can do E1 minus E2. For suppose if I am assuming my transformer is a step up transformer, both the possibilities are there, right? If I am assuming it as a step up transformer, then what will happen? This 400 I have to write as E2 minus E1 or E1 minus E2, E2 minus E1. Step up transformer means voltage is going to increase. So E2 value is more compared to E1. In that case, if I try to do the analysis, E2 minus E1 value is how much? What is the value of E1? 200. So what you are going to get the value of E2 in this case? 600 volts you are going to get. So if I am getting 600 volts from this, can I get the turns ratio N2 is to N1 as what you are going to get? N2 means 600, N1 is 200. So you are going to get 3:1. So what are the two possible turns ratio you are going to get? So don't say simply 1:1. The answer for this question, you are going to get two different answers. What are the answers? The turns ratio is either 1:1, there is a possibility, or 3:1. That means N2 by N1. I am not saying N1 by N2, N2 by N1. So because we need to calculate turns ratio between from CD to AB. So you are going to get two turns ratios, either 1:1 or 3:1, based on whether it is a step up or step down transformer. Right. Once if you understand this particular question, let me move on to the next one. Right. So this is a very simple question, which seems to be a very lengthy diagram, but it is very simple. So what is the question? You need to indicate the dots for all the windings of three transformers shown in the figure. So this is one transformer, second transformer, third transformer. These transformers are connected, according to the polarity test, they have connected simply. And they have, if you observe here clearly in this diagram, they indicated the dotted terminal over here. Okay, so they have given this dot. Now what is our task? We need to determine the dots for all the remaining windings. That means for this winding, these two and these two, total 5 windings, we have to indicate the dots. Right. So here what I will do, I may assume the dotted as positive terminal or negative. So let us assume this is positive. If I am assuming this positive, obviously this becomes negative. Now for a given transformer, okay, so if this is 20 volts, obviously here also how much voltage you will get? 20. Now if this is 20, since it is a 1:2 transformer, how much voltage you are going to get across this? 40 volts is the voltage, because you know E2 by E1 equal to N2 by N1. Right. Now if you observe here, they mentioned that the voltmeter, these two terminals are shorted, and this voltmeter after shorting, that means this is a polarity test. Right. So this voltmeter reads how much value? 50 volts. So can I say this 50 volts is it is 60 volts, sorry, they have indicated. In the diagram, make a note of this point, okay, this is 60. So here, can I say these two voltages are added with each other or subtracted? Added. So whenever if two voltages are added, already we got a conclusion that if two voltages are added, okay, then do I need to indicate the dotted terminals for the similar or dissimilar or opposite polarities? Opposite polarities, okay, so or opposite terminals. So that means I can say that if this is dot, where I need to keep the dot, guys, where I need to keep the dot, I need to keep the dot at this position. So if this is the dot, obviously for a given transformer, dot is indicated with positive terminal, means this dot is also must be indicated with positive terminal, plus minus. So we got this as plus minus 40 volts. Now if I get this voltage as plus minus 40 volts, the same voltage will be appear across this one also, this winding, which is equal to 40 volts plus minus. Okay, the same terminals you are going to get. Now if you observe, if I get this as 40 volts, since it is 1:2 transformer, I can get how much voltage across this winding? 80 volts. This is the voltage which we are going to get across this winding. Now again, if you clearly observe here, this terminal is shorted with this, and this terminal across this, you are getting voltmeter. Now how much voltmeter reading it is showing? 40 volts. That means 40 volts is sum of these two EMFs or difference of these two EMFs? Difference. 80 minus 40 is nothing but 40. Right? So now as this is positive, I can, if I am indicating this as dot, and the voltmeter reads difference of two EMFs. If voltmeter indicate difference of two EMFs, the short circuited terminals will be assigned with similar polarities, or dotted terminals will be assigned with similar polarities. Okay, same terminals, right? So that means short circuited terminals are these two. So where I need to indicate the dot? Okay, where I need to indicate the dot. So if this is positive, obviously here also what you will get? Positive. Because if voltmeter reads difference of two EMFs, if the short circuited terminals will be assigned with similar polarities. In this transformer, what are the short circuit terminals? This terminal is shorted with this terminal. So if this is positive, this is positive. So obviously other terminal becomes negative. So in this case, if this is dot, obviously here also what I need to keep? Dot, it is undotted. Now, once if I know this voltage is 80 volts, obviously what is the voltage appeared here? 80 volts. And obviously this becomes plus minus. Right? So obviously this becomes, if I am assuming this is dot, positive terminal, 80 volts. Now if I know this is 80 volts, obviously here how much voltage you are going to get? 160 volts across this winding. Right? Now, based on this voltmeter, I can able to get the dotted terminals of this last winding. How to get the dotted terminals? Let us try to see here. This is 240. Can I say 240 is sum of these two voltages or difference of these two voltages? Sum. So that means my voltmeter reading is sum of two induced EMFs. If voltmeter reads sum of two EMFs, then can I say the short circuited terminals will be assigned with same polarities or dissimilar polarities? You need to assign with dissimilar polarities. What are the short circuited terminals here? These are my these are two my short circuited terminals. If this is positive, obviously I need to keep minus here, and this becomes plus, because if voltmeter reads difference sum of two EMFs, the short circuited terminals will be assigned with dissimilar polarities or opposite polarities. So here these are two short circuit terminals. If this is positive, this becomes negative. If this is negative, this becomes positive. So obviously I need to keep a dot over here. That's it. So even though the diagram is very lengthy, it is very simple to understand the indication of the dotteds once if you perfectly understand the polarity test. Have you understand? So this is about this question. Let me try to move on to the next question. Right. So let us try to focus on this. First read the question. A single phase step down transformer has three identical windings keeping supply voltage at 150 volts 50H. What are the possible output voltages which are below 150? Because since it is a step down transformer with a supply voltage of 150, obviously step down means output voltage will be less. Right. So this is a very simple question. Again, analysis is very simple. A single phase step down transformer has three identical windings keeping supply voltage as 150. The possible output voltages below 150 volts are dash. Okay. So in fact, I forgot to mention these three identical windings are connected in series. Okay. Don't forget that. So these three identical windings are connected in series. In fact, I missed that. Right. Now, what I will do is, I will consider different possible cases, guys. The first possible case is, let us assume these are my three identical windings. Okay, these are three my identical windings. Now, what I will do is, first let us try to connect these three windings in series. And what I am doing is, now I am across all three windings, I am connecting a supply voltage. So what is the supply voltage, guys? 150 volts. Okay, and the moment if I am saying this is plus minus, since these three are three identical windings, the entire voltage will be equally divided among these three. So that means, can you tell me what is the voltage across each identical winding? 50 volts. This is also 50 volts. It will satisfy KVL, right? So this is about my primary winding. The primary winding consists of three identical transformers which are connected in series, and across, okay, I may connect. So keeping supply voltage at 150. That means that you can apply finally the primary side 150 volts. But whether you are going to apply this 150 volts across all the three windings, or across only two windings, or across one winding, that is depends upon you. Okay. So in case one, what I have done, I have connected all the three windings, and across all the three winding combinations, I have connected 150 volt source. Now, where I can able to measure the outputs? The outputs, there are possibilities. Either I can measure the output voltage across this. For suppose if I measure the voltage across all the three windings, then how much voltage you will get? Same 150. But I need to get the possibility of output voltages which are less than 150. Now, for suppose if I am connecting the load across this one, then what is the output voltage you are going to get? Load voltage. If I am connecting the output terminals across these two, then I will get 50 plus 50, 100 volts. So one possible answer is 100 volts. There is not necessary you need to connect between these two. I may connect across these two. So across this winding, if I am connecting a load, how much voltage you are going to get? 50 volts, which is less than 150. So other possibility is 50 volts. The other possibility is 50 volts. This is one thing. So this is one case. Let me take case 2. Okay, please relax, be patient, and try to listen this properly. Let us consider case 2. Now what I have done is, these are my three identical windings which are connected in series. Now this 150 volt source, what I am doing is I am connecting across these two. This 150 volts I am going to connect across this. The moment if I am connecting 150 volts and if I am saying this is plus minus terminal, can you tell me this voltage will be equally divided across these two windings? Because these two are similar windings, identical windings. So 75 volts will be appear here and remaining 75 volts will be appear here. Yes or no, guys? Right. So this is my 75 volts. Yes. So if this is 75 volts, what is the next one? I may connect output across the other side, right? So where I can able to connect the output. Before that, for suppose if this is the induced voltage 75 volts on the primary side. So can I say obviously if I am including this winding and if I am connecting a load across these three terminals, let us try to see the possibilities later. Okay. So if I am connecting, can you tell me how much voltage will be induced across this winding? In this case, this acts as a primary winding and this acts as a secondary winding, right? So that means these three are identical windings, guys. Identical windings means the number of turns will be same, length of those windings will be same, and the amount of flux linking with those things windings same. So if 75 volts is appear here, 75 volts is appear here, obviously the 75 volts will also appear across this identical winding, because identical winding means the same voltage will be appear. Right now, for suppose if I am connecting output terminals across these three, then obviously what will happen? You are going to get more voltage, right? So for that, what I will try to do is I am going to connect. For suppose if I am trying to connect a load, this is 75, right? So now what I am doing is I am going to connect a load across these terminals. If I am connecting a output across these terminals, can you tell me output? What is the output voltage you are going to get? 75 volts is the answer. Yes or no? So you are going to get 75 volts, right? So is there any other possibility apart from these things? So you are going to get 75 volts. The third one is 75 volts. So if I am connecting across these two terminals, are you following? Right? So now my question is, apart from these three voltages, will I get other than these three voltages which are less than 150? If you do n number of possibilities, you can play with it, this diagram, okay? So that means you can measure the voltage across this, or else you can supply the input voltage across only one winding and try to identify the output voltages across one combination, two combination, three combination. Finally, you will observe that the voltages are 150, 75. You won't get other than these three, right? Now, I am giving a simple task to you, okay, as a homework to you. So here I have done my assumption as step down transformer, okay. So now what you will do is forget about this step down. So a single phase transformer has three identical windings which are connected in series, keeping supply voltage at this. What are the possible output voltages? Above 150 volts, okay. So what is your homework? You need to identify what are the possible voltages which you are going to get above 150 volts, okay. So do that and try to tell me what are the answers you are going to get. So this is about the brief idea about polarity test, and the next test what we are going to discuss is open circuit test.